Is this how the Heat are gonna look next season?
Hey, do you guys want to win a PS5 with Madden NFL 21 and NBA 2K21? We'll be announcing the winner as soon as they come out, so be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway.
Joel Embiid is arguably the best player for a Philadelphia 76ers team that should legitimately be a contender in the East. He has all the tools to dominate the game, including a traditional post-up game, and even range extending to the three-point line. Embiid is also a very dominant defensive player when he's locked in, making him an MVP candidate every single year. But he has faced some turbulent times this season. Beyond the usual nagging injuries he's dealt with since his rookie season, Embiid has had some pretty low moments, including a game where he registered 0 points for an entire game. Not to mention Philadelphia is getting the reputation of being a soft team without a killer instinct. As the best player on the team and getting swept in the playoffs, all fingers are starting to point at Embiid. As a result, there's talk that Philly will want to move on from Embiid. While he is a superstar talent, he plays a position that is becoming increasingly undervalued as teams look to employ pace and space. Philly wants to play in an up-tempo style, and there are significant doubts if both Embiid and Ben Simmons can play together at a high level. Perhaps moving on from Embiid will help the Sixers aim in the right direction, as they took a massive step behind the Milwaukee Bucks and even the Boston Celtics. Interestingly, the Miami Heat is a team that is always looking to boost their title chances and have a one-star player in Jimmy Butler already. They made some key moves by trading for Andre Iguodala and Jay Crowder and want to keep adding quality players to further an Eastern Conference Finals run. There's talk that the Heat are interested in Embiid, since the reunion of Butler and Embiid will likely place them among the elite of the East. Here is how Philly can revamp their roster by moving Embiid, while the Heat grab their second star player. The Heat would receive Joel Embiid, and the Sixers would receive Bam Adebayo, Kendrick Nunn, Goran Dragic, and Derrick Jones Jr. This trade gives Philly some nice young talent in Adebayo, who is an all-star to replace Embiid, and Nunn, who is one of the best rookies of the year so far. Not to mention they grab a veteran point guard who can spread the floor and also relieve some playmaking duties off Ben Simmons. Jones Jr. is a very capable role player who has incredible athleticism, something the Sixers do not currently have. By giving Philly some depth and a replacement for Embiid, they might position themselves for playing a faster style. For the Heat, they acquired their second star to place the likes of Iguodala and Crowder around, along with sharpshooter Duncan Robinson. The combination of Butler and Embiid makes them a defensive nightmare, who can each score 20-plus points on a nightly basis with ease. They also have experience playing with each other, and even had a deep playoff run alongside one another. Admittedly, swapping rising stars like Bam, Nunn, and Robinson for an injury-prone Embiid is a bit of a risk. Not only does Miami significantly deplete their depth, but they're also trading for a guy who has historically had trouble staying on the court. But if the big man can meet expectations and play up to his potential, it may just be enough to push them over the edge as legitimate title contenders. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, this is probably the best-case scenario. They get a young two-way big man in Bam Adebayo and some really talented scorers in Nunn, Olynyk, and Robinson. With Ben Simmons as the new focal point of the offense, it could really thrive given some time. Regardless of how you look at the specifics, the deal would be beneficial for both teams, considering their current situation. But trading away stars is never easy, and you can bet these GMs will think long and hard before they make any significant moves this summer. Butler and Embiid also seem to complement each other's games perfectly, more so than Simmons and Embiid, who both prefer to play closer to the basket. Butler gives him a lot more spacing and will make the Heat very formidable when Embiid is double-teamed down low. The Miami Heat are known for making big moves, and acquiring the likes of Joel Embiid can possibly be a flashback to the time the Heat acquired Shaq to join Dwayne Wade. While Embiid is not Shaq and Butler is not on Wade's level, this is a very strong starting point for a potential super team that's built on defense and balanced scoring. The Heat may not have an immediate need for Embiid, with first-time All-Star Adebayo currently headlining the front court. However, adding a perennial All-Star and Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Embiid may be hard for Miami to pass up. After all, the Heat reportedly have huge acquisition plans for the rest of Jimmy Butler's tenure with the team. Butler and Embiid were teammates briefly in Philadelphia last season. Only time will tell if the two will pair up in Miami. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Will Joel Embiid commit and make it official he's going to the Heat, or will he stay with his 76ers?